screen printing technique. So I'm just trying to want to give some kind of definitions and different types of printmaking. We have four different types of printmaking. First is relief printmaking, where the printing is done on the raised portion. Suppose we do have a block, or wood block or something. We carve it, and you will get a relief surface. And printing done on the relief portion is called relief printmaking technique. We have woodcut and lino cut for examples. The second is intaglio technique. Intaglio technique is when you make lines or cut or whatever by using an acid on zinc plate, metal plates, zinc, copper, iron, aluminum. Many you can experiment with many metal blocks. We have to use different acids for that. For zinc, we use nitric acid, and you have to dilute it with water. And the third technique is planography or lithography, where the printing is done on a stone, from a stone, right? So printing is done on the plane surface, on the plane, not relief, not on these grooves, but plane surface is planography or lithography. The last technique is serigraphy, or we can call screen printing, or commonly we call silk screen. This is the technique where the Pope artist explore. Andy Warhol explores screen printing technique. Multiple images of soup cans and all, right? So this is a medium which is so exciting because the way colors color come while printing. It sometimes it overlaps, sometimes it will be opaque, sometimes it will be transparent, according to the colors you are used. So we do have different types of colors in the market. The one is water-based ink. I'm using water-based ink here because I work in indoor, and that is like non-toxic. It's good for health and everything. Plastisols, it's more into commercial purpose because people use it for making t-shirts and all, and that is a bit toxic. So they use it's a kind of industrial use. So normally artists prefer water-based ink here to explore their techniques and the images. So I have been exploring this technique since more than 10-12 years. I did my master's from MS University of Baroda, India, and I did few prints there. Then I started exploring here because my basic medium, my first medium is etchings, but I don't have a space to do etching in US, in Ann Arbor, because you need to hire a studio and everything, right? So not so affordable sometimes. So screen printing is a medium everyone can do at home. It's affordable actually. You need a screen, you need a few colors. Speedboard colors are water-based colors are much more cheaper, and you guys can explore, and it's not toxic. Kids can handle too with their parents, on their supervision. So let's start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the technique uh, which is called reductive screen printing technique. But let me explain what is screen printing. Screen printing is when you use a stencil, to get prints. So basic definition is like, where screen printing refers to a technique where images are printed on any surface through a mesh or screen which has an image or pattern on it. That is the definition of it. So I'm attaching a link of PDF for this website on Summer Art Festival website. You can see you can follow the PDF at the same time, and you can work alongside with me. So definitions are there. So reductive method. What is reductive method? Reductive method, we can attain reductive method when each color is attained by blocking successive portion of the screen. Like for each portion you have to block or mask, right? So this is the definition, and let's start doing the workshop, and at each stages I will explain you more. First of all, I will introduce you guys what materials we needed for the workshop. We need a screen with a mesh, frame, screen frame. We need a speedball screen filler. This is the basic tool which we are going to use today. We are using it as a drawing fluid, to block certain portions. We were discussing about, successive blocking certain areas, right? Unwanted areas, you can say. I will explain you more when we start doing it, because I don't want you guys to confuse with the the method or stages. Speedball screen filler. We are using it as drawing fluid here, as a medium here. We do need a speedball clean. This is to wash out this screen filler after our workshop, after our work is done. Okay. We need fine and flat brushes to make the drawing, to make the pattern or images. Obviously, we need pencils for that first, and we need 2-3 spatulas to to take the ink from the can, and we do have colors. I have few colors with me. I have light green. Like, I have so many colors, which is water based. Okay, water based is, as I said earlier, is non-toxic, and it's environmental friendly too. It's better to use non-toxic colors. So I have lastly, we need SQG to print, to run it on the screen. We need tape, we need pencils, whatever we needed. We need fine paper. I'm using Canson. I'm using Canson Bristol 260 GSM Canson paper, which is smooth and slightly thicker, which is good. We need a fine sheet to get fine detailed prints. So I have paper here. So we also need a layout. We also need a layout or drawing for your work. So for me, I'm taking one of my photograph, which is a sunflower photograph. So I want certain colors, which is like yellow, brown, green or something. So I'm using very minimal colors here. Let's see, like, we have to mix colors to to attain definition. So according to your convenience, like, you can explore different colors and variations, right? Like, if you want 7-8 colors, you need to mask 7 times. You need to cover or block the image 7 times for each color. So it's like, I normally use 12 colors and all. It takes some time, so you need to have patience for that. So let's start with yellow color. That's the idea. But before that, you have to transfer this image onto the screen. So I'm keeping this screen on top of this drawing, and keeping it like keeping it at the center, so that the image will come at the center. Okay. So this is the way I am keeping it, right? Like, it should be at the center. Now I am going to trace it, yeah. So now I'm going to trace it. The outlines, basically. I don't want so much of details right now, because through colors we can give more definitions. So I'm doing this drawing. Yes, this is done. So I gave an outline to this drawings. Okay, so if you have your drawings with you guys, trace the image with a pencil which is not so sharp. If it's sharp, it will damage your screen. Screen is like very fine. So I made this outline. Now what is, like, I'm just going with the kind of conventional colors. First of all, I need yellow. color as the color of petals. So I will work with yellow first, okay? So, but at the same time, I need some highlights on these petals that should be white in color. So as we are using paper, we are using white paper, we can literally use the surface color of this paper. So what I'm going to do is the highlights on this image, I'm going to block with a screen filler. So let's do it. So I am trying to block now. I'll show you. See, I'll show you near to the camera. So I'm just giving some, highlights. You can use kind of dry brush too, just dry the brush and, give that kind of uneven feeling. It doesn't have to, to be kind of sharp line. Yeah. I'm okay with this much highlights. Now it has to get dried, so we have to use a dryer. Pardon me for the sound. It needs 1 minute. So I am drying it, it dry faster when you use dryer, otherwise you have to wait. You can use table fan, yeah. So it's almost dried, so I'm getting this cream. So, little bit more, you can use it. It's a bit louder. Don't keep this dryer closer to the screen, because of heat it will again damage. So this portion is almost done, okay? So I'm keeping the dryer away from the work. So now I have a base for the printing. It's called, you can use as a table, but it's handy, right? You can take anywhere you want. And I have screen printing hinges. It's called hinges, screen printing table hinges. I'm going to fix this screen onto the table. Yeah. So once the screen is fixed, it's easy to register the paper. So the registration will be the same for every color, so that each color will come. Each color will print on desired portions. So make it tighter so that it won't be loose. It won't be that much. It won't move basically. Yes. Yeah. This hinges you can order in Amazon. It's nice. It's really cool. See this? So it's much more easier, to print. So now I am going to register my paper, the printing sheet. Normally printmaking is used to make editions. Editions, you can say, replication. I don't know whether copy is a good word. So many great artists made their work, and they it's all expensive, and they want to reach these prints to more people, like masses, like affordable kind of stuffs. So printmaking is much more, printmaking is meant for that basically. But at the same time, printmaking itself exists as an image, as a technique. So it's one of the known medium which has an individual unique style, and so it's very important to talk about printmaking and its techniques, because this medium is very important to many people, and Many are known as printmakers. Like Picasso is known as a painter, sculptor, printmaker. Kiki Smith, she got this amazing drawings. She does paperworks and she's a good printmaker. She is a sculptor, you know. So I'm just telling, importance of printmaking here. So this is fixed. Now I'm taking this printing paper. So we need to take edition. So take, I'm taking few more papers. uh, I'm taking only 2 editions this time. uh, you guys can have 10 editions, 100 editions. I'm taking only 2 because it's a small workshop and it's a demonstration. And so these 2 papers are together. I take 1 paper and I'm just trying to put the screen on the center of the paper. You can see this shadow, you can see this shadow. So it comes exactly the center if make it work. Like you just move the paper and you can do it. It's almost center. Yeah. So I'm fixing the paper in that position, and we need small, strips. This is a wooden one. It's much more easy. Try to break it so it's much more easier. I'm registering it, so it has to be, it has to be perfect and edges should be sharp. So we need tape for this. Tape for this. So this is like L shaped, right? So, and the other one, this is like L shaped here, like edge of the paper, right? Edge of the paper. I'll show you once the other piece is fixed, other strip is fixed. The other one I'm keeping vertically, right? So this is called registration, and it's very important when you do multiple layers of colors, especially reductive printmaking technique. See, the paper is fixed. Now we can start the technique. We have 2 papers, so I'm making 2 editions. According to you, if you need 100 editions, you can make 100 editions. You have to keep time. Screen printing is, once the screen is fixed, printing is much more easier. So you can have as much as many prints you wanted. So I'm using yellow color first. So this is the water-based yellow color I was mentioning earlier. I'm taking yellow color. Just checking, whether which QC I should use, right? This is fine. This is this QC which I showed you. That's enough to reach the whole area. So I am holding the screen like this, and try to flood the screen first. Flood means just make sure that ink is everywhere, right? Trying to flood the screen. That's the word we normally use. Now, hold this QG. You are supposed to do this way. Hold this QG with 2 hands. Give even pressure. Run this QG onto the other side. Yes. See, we got the first print, yellow color. You can see the highlights, right? So I'm going to take 1 more editions. I told you I'm taking 2 editions. The other one, yeah, we have this paper here, and I'm taking, because registration is done already, so no tension actually, no. It's all, it's all fixed here, so the color has to come at the same area. So there is enough ink on the screen. So I'm just standing here, it's much more easier for me. So I'm holding the screen, skew 45 degrees, and put some even pressure, run this skew to the other side. Yes, it's done. See, we got two editions. Like this is the first layer, okay? So this you can see those details. Details means the highlights, right, on the petals. Yeah. So it takes some time to get it dried. So this is done. The first layer is done. You have to clean everything now, skew and everything. For the second color, at the same time you have to wash the screen. That's the reason we have that's the reason I told you we need spray bottles, water spray bottles. We have to be more disciplined so that you'll get good results. If you need to have a disciplined way of doing these things. I'm still learning to be disciplined. It's really sad, to say to be disciplined to an artist. Printmaking, you need at least some attention, so that you will get the best results. So I'm using this water spray because this is water-based medium, so it's much more it's easier to clean. You just put some water. You can use paper towel or rags for cleaning. We normally use rags, so all clothes and all. So it's waste. It's going to waste. So see, cleaning is almost done. So you can also clean the back side if you want. So I use paper towel for fine work, right? It's much more easier. See, cleaning is done and it has to get dried. It will dry by itself for some time, or I can use the dryer. I can use the dryer from a distance, right? There is some more ink I see from here that you have to this is done. Now let's dry it. Don't go too close, okay? It won't take much time. I'm sorry for this. Pardon me for this. It takes some time to get it dry. So yeah. So now I'm not following the color rules of a sunflower. I just want to show you the technique, right? So I'm going to use red, maybe red sunflower, I don't know. So just exploring the colors. Otherwise you have to you can make colors. It can be darker yellow, it can be orange. Then you can go for gradations of yellow, right? Screen, it takes some time, because it's water. So I think it's done. So now we have to work on the second layer. How we are going to work on second layer? So this is the drawing or layout. I am going to close certain areas. I'm going to mask, or I'm going to block certain areas for to keep the yellow color on the final print. So I'm using slightly round, slightly flat or round kind of brush, and trying to trying to mask few areas of petals. You can do freehand drawings, See, So that portion, I am blocking. That means the yellow color, we finalized yellow. Wherever you want yellow color, that area has to be blocked. Wherever you need to keep yellow color has to be masked. That's what I'm doing right now. So next color we are doing is like we are using red color. We are not following, as I said earlier, we are just exploring the technique. So we do have primary colors here, so we'll explore all those primary colors, whatever available we have. You guys can buy individual colors. Speedball has a variety of colors, or if you have slightly a bigger budget, go for good branded colors, which is like we will get a better result. Workshops we normally use speedball, which is affordable to all for the kids and everyone. So we use the same technique to make t-shirts. We did that at museum. It was fun. So I am almost done with masking the second layer for the second color. So for every color we have to mask, so just imagine if you have 10 colors, 12 colors, you have to, it's a big process. You have to keep patience and yeah, you have to focus. Registration, everything is important. See, I'm done. See? I'll show you. So it has to get dried, so we need to keep this screen for some time. So I'm just keeping the screen here. I'm using the dryer and trying to dry it. Okay, it takes 2-3 minutes. Okay, so I used to show you some of my earlier works in between that time gap, right? So let me explain you. So this is the screen I did earlier, like last month. This is an image of a jackfruit, right? Jackfruit is a fruit which is so huge and you can't eat alone, right? So I made this food because I am from a place where you will get it, it's available everywhere actually. So people share, neighbors share the food they eat, the foods together. I'm sorry, dryer is working, so you can't hear properly. So let me show you the result of this print. I use the same technique, reduction printmaking technique, to attain. See this. So I start using light yellow first, then gradations of yellow, then parrot green, gradations of parrot green, right? And I reached here, it has more than 10-12 colors. And after, like, the screen is done, the work is done. So what should I use with the frame? I still wish to, take some of prints, from the screen. So I thought, making tote bags will be a great idea, So I printed this image from the same screen, Like, I do small fairs, so I keep this as one of my product, artist should survive. So this is the way this thing works. So at at different sessions I masked this the image. That's and then I reached that final outcome. So we are back to our work. Yeah, it's not dried yet. You have to dry slightly. You have to use dryer again. Don't go too close, okay? As I said earlier, it doesn't have to be, thicker layer. A thin layer is fine, Sometimes some areas are like slightly thicker, it takes some time to get dry. That's enough, I guess. I will wipe some of the portion with a paper towel so it will eventually get dried. Because I said the thicker areas, right? Yeah, that's okay. We are experimenting. So hopefully, water-based ink it dry faster. So we have two prints. We have two prints, and one thing I forgot to tell you: you have to mark this as top, right? This is the way we have to put an arrow here. This is the way how we uh, placed this print individual sheets onto the registration area. So I am going to keep the sheet here. Now I'm going for red color. Red is really fun. It's bright red. It's nice. This red is really fun. I used in many prints, color as it is. I didn't mix it because I like this color a lot. So we are doing the same. Registration is done. This is for second color, second layer. So for the second layer, we blocked the portions. We blocked the portions which we want to keep yellow, so that the red color won't go onto the portion where there is yellow, right? So I'm going to do it. You will get an idea after the prints. So hold it, flood the screen first, then put in even pressure 45 degree. Yes, let's see the result. Oh, the paper is sticking onto it. That's okay. See, two colors. So let it dry. We have one more editions to print, so we have to take that too. One more editions, right? We are taking two editions. You guys can take 10 editions, 100 editions according to your time and according to your need. If you're taking master prints, you should go for 100 prints. Not ideally. I'm not a left-hander, so I'm using the same technique. Flood the screen. Not ideal, I told you. So I got two prints. See, two colors are done. Now we are going for the third color. So before that, you have to clean all these things again, each steps. So I am cleaning the ink. Don't waste ink, but you have to make sure that you always take the ink back to the cans. These are good colors. Yeah, this is done, and now again we have to clean the screen. How? We have water spray. This is a water-based ink. See? Just wipe it. if you have, rags or something, it's much better. Yeah, we are running around for paper towels these days, so have some stove. So I don't have rags with me, so I'm using paper towels. So sorry. Yeah. So cleaning is done almost. You can reuse it in the sense it's not dirty yet, so you can use it for final cleaning of darker color or something. Yeah. So screen is done. I need to dry the screen, so I have to use the dryer once again. Take few minutes, 2 minutes maybe. Hi. So now the final color blue. So for the final color blue, before doing the color, we have to block the portions which we want to keep a red. So in this image, you have to decide where you want to keep a red color. So I'm just thinking actually which portion I have to keep a red. So I think I should keep the center portion as a red. Center portion as a red. And some dots, to give the details of the flower. So let's start with the masking fluid. I have to block wherever I need to keep the red in it. So I'm doing a dry brush thing, okay? Very. I'm not using a lot of color. If you don't use lot of screen filler, it dry, faster. So this is like kind of dry brush. We say dry brush, right? Yeah. So almost done. We are going for the final color. So I'm just, doing some experiment with the brush. So yeah, your masking is almost done. This has to get dried. It will dry faster because it's a thin layer. Okay, you can see that on the few minutes, and then we are doing the final color. This is done. Yes. Now, so we just masked a certain portion which we wanted to keep a red. So this area I worked on, to keep a red color, so that when we use blue color, it won't get into the red portion. So we are going for the final color. Arrow, you have to check the arrow, registration is important. And now we'll try to do the last layer. Take some ink. correct? We have this QG, hold the screen with one hand, the other hand you have to keep 45 degree and run this QG. You have to flood this QG first. Make sure that the ink is reaching everywhere. Okay, then finally put some pressure, evenly run this QG for one time. You are not supposed to run QG multiple times. It will destroy the details. You won't get the details if you do that. See, this is the final result. Ink has to get dry. That's the reason we got some kind of dots here, but this is the reductive screen printing technique. And you can explore more colors at different stages. You have to block or mask the screen, your design or pattern or drawing with screen filler. You can go for 10 12 colors. It's really fun. Registration is more important in this case, because the whenever you print the portion to be registered, the paper to be registered properly, so that the color will fall, a color will fall on desired areas. So this is the final outcome of the print, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and wish you guys all success in your career and hobbies, and that's it. And nice listening to me, and it's nice feeling when you interact with people and teach the techniques which you know and I love teaching. It's basically all interactions, and happy, and thanking to Summer Art Festival administration for giving me this opportunity to do these workshops. Thank you all. Stay safe. Bye bye.